Hey family, it's me. I just wanted to share a few things that God gave me today in service. I was sitting there doing praise and worship at my church, and the Spirit fell. And I was praising God, and I was praising God. And when I finally opened my eyes, I could see like a thickness. It was very thick in the service, and like a cloud of glory was all around. And as I begin to press in more, I can just hear God speak to me. And I was sitting there, and the first thing that He gave me was, "Won't it be grand?" And as I looked around the room, and as the power of God was just falling, and people were praising God, and I was just overwhelmed with just peace. I can see the connection of "won't it be grand," meaning once we get to heaven, heaven is our goal. Once we get to heaven, it will be just like this. And as I meditate on heaven, and I can feel Audrey. I can feel her presence, and I know she's in heaven. And it gave me more joy in knowing that heaven is going to be a reward, and we should all strive. I mean, heaven is our goal, and it shouldn't just so that we can see people that we love, but we should all strive to make it to heaven because God is there. And the second thing He gave me was that it won't be long. And I began to rejoice because the last thing that He gave me kind of connects the two phrases. The last thing was, "It will all be worth it." And I just began to weep, and I began to cry, because everybody knows that, Mariah's situation, since she was born, we've been fighting, and it can get very overwhelming at times. And this week in particular, with her having chest pains and not being able to breathe, as a mother, it has really touched me. And I'm, praying and asking God to deliver her and to give her strength in her body. But, God allowed me to reflect on even those moments when I feel like I'm getting ready to fall apart, that it all be worth it, because it won't be long. But He did tell me, this is the warning, that it won't be grand for some people because they won't make it in. And why won't they make it in? He gave me the scripture, 1 John 2:16, and it talks about the three things that will keep you from making the rapture and making it into heaven. That is the lust of the eye, the lust of the flesh, and the pride of life. And He also told me that there's a lot of deception. There's people being deceived because they believe that what they're doing is not, how can I say this, that is okay, and that is a lie from the pit of hell. If it's something that you desire because you've seen it, and is from the flesh, does not bring God's name glory, and you refuse to humble yourself and seek God, this will cause you to miss the rapture. But I want to encourage you all, because we all know that what we have been taught as little children should be the driving force of us today. And God gives each one of us a measure of grace. We all have our own testimonies and our own walks of life. But I want to encourage you to search your own soul, your own lifestyle, and ask God, am I pleasing to you? Because He will tell you. My kids ask me all the time, well, how does God's voice sound to you? And I really can't, it's something, I think the more time that you spend with God, The more time you spend with him in a relationship, you know his voice. And he will tell you the things that you should be doing. And before I sign off, I just want to tell you one more thing. He said it will be worth it because of the Beatitudes. And that's found in Matthew chapter 5. There's 5 of them. Blessed are the meek. Blessed are the those that hunger and thirst after righteousness. Blessed are the ones that are pure in heart. Blessed are the peacemakers. And blessed are the ones that are persecuted for righteous sake. All of these situations don't sound good, and I think it all will be worth it if you do it God's way, because it says that you shall be filled. You shall see God. You shall be called the children of God. And the last one is that you will inherit the kingdom of heaven. So I just wanted to encourage you because I was encouraged. I was sitting in church and I was feeling kind of down because of Mariah's situation, but God will meet every need. He is so faithful. He is so faithful. But I think we have to tell ourselves that we should always be obedient to God and always trust Him, because those 2 things right there, it's got to be in your heart though. It's got to be in your heart. You got to love God, because if you love Him, it says you'll keep His commandments. If you love Him, you'll keep His commandments. Also, you will be able to be more obedient. You'll be able to trust Him more because you love Him. You're in a relationship with Him. So with that being said, I pray that everybody has a blessed week. Mariah, she is doing better. I can see a shift. And I think it's just going to take time, God's time. And she'll make a full recovery. But thank you for praying for her, and good night.